right, as Stephen Jones joins you now here on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan, and a good afternoon, sir. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great. We were just talking about Randy Gregory going to the 49ers. Now, you don't think he's going to jump in the game on Sunday, do you?
Who knows? I mean, nothing ever surprises you when it comes to the NFL and a big game. I'm sure they want as many good players as they can have out there, and it'll be interesting to see if he tries to suit up.
Indeed, it will. It is the game of the week in pro football, and we can't get enough of talking about it. One of the topics is, who's the better team on paper? How do you look at it? Are the Cowboys as good as the 49ers at this point?
Well, at this point, we're getting ready to find out. So, everybody can always have opinion as to what roster might be better. We obviously, really think a lot of the players that we have on this football team that we think give us a great opportunity to compete for a championship this year. And, like the makeup of the guys, like their football character, like the way they play the game, like their skill sets. And, but at the same time, we have nothing but respect for what the 49er organization, John Lynch, Coach Shanahan, the roster, and their players, the roster they've put together, nothing but respect. And certainly they've gotten the best out of us the last 2 years in the playoffs. And, we've just been trying to improve and so we can take the next step. But nothing but respect for these guys. We know it's going to be a big, big game, and we're going to have to play our best football to go out there on their turf and win what is a really big football game. But everybody has opinions on whose roster may be better. The best way to find that out is play each other, and that's what we're going to get to do.
Stephen, all these years that we've known you, you've always talked about continuity with your offensive line. And, hopefully things will work out for you this weekend where you have all your 5 starters together playing for the first time in a long time. Has that been one of the biggest things that have changed in your thought process when you're building your team, that it's not about the continuity anymore? It's about having 8, 9 guys that can play every week at a moment's notice, especially in your offensive line?
Well, my answer to that question is both. Your preference is to have your top 5 get to play together and have continuity. That's been a challenge for us up to this point, but we do believe the group that played a lot together in training camp are now going to play together in a game. It looks like this is going to happen. And at the same time, while we didn't have the luxury of having the continuity, we had some guys really step up in a big way and gave us opportunities to win, get us to where we are today. We obviously had the one tough Sunday against the Cardinals, but in general, I think we've shown that we've got some guys on this roster, guys like Chuma, T.J. Bass, Hoffman, a good group of men who can step up and play when called upon. We got to see a little bit of Awesome Richards as one of our draft picks. So, your preference is to have the continuity and the same 5 guys, but reality is you have to have 8 or 9 guys who can help you win a football game or get, at least do their job so that you can make plays and make enough plays to win a game.
How probable is it could happen as early as Sunday night?
Oh, I think it's starting to look pretty likely, barring something unforeseen, that we got a great chance to have, what we always envisioned as our starting 5 guys. Tyron's come along great, obviously, Baez and certainly Zach Martin all played last week and have had a good week this week. So, we'll see what happens when we get ready to suit them up on Sunday. But right now things are pointing toward having our starting 5 guys be out there.
That is exciting. Stephen Jones with us here in the GBag Nation. Now, you mentioned team building the last 2 years in the postseason. How much, when you've gone into team building in the offseason, has it been to try and get tougher and match up better with a team like San Francisco, whom it seems like you're always going to have to go through if you want to achieve your ultimate goal?
Yeah, I think between San Francisco and Philly and, teams in your division, you're always looking for guys who can match up well and help you take the next step. I mean, they've got great players on offense. When you look at guys like McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels, certainly a Kittle and Ayuk. I mean, they've got some really gifted, skilled players. They've got a baller at their quarterback position who goes out and plays winning football week in and week out. So, and a solid offensive line. And, you got to go up against that, and what's the best way to defend those guys. And certainly the flip side of that is, they've got one of the best defenses in the league as well. You want to go downfield on these guys, but you got to be able to protect Dak and give him the time to be able to let the guys get downfield. So, those are all things that, we've worked on to improve our roster. You look at the Stephon Gilmores of the world to help the defense, Amazi Smith. Certainly offensively, we made a move to bring in some real speed to take the top off and Cooks. So, we feel good about our roster, and we just got to go out and execute and play winning football.
Have you guys taken the reins off of Dak in terms of him feeling comfortable to just run whenever he wants, or do you guys encourage him to sort of, let's not take off with our legs too much in the regular season?
Well, I just think all quarterbacks in my mind, I can't imagine that most teams aren't telling them to be smart about when they put themselves in harm's way. And we all know there's, certain times of a game in the regular season, a big play, to keep a drive alive, especially when you're getting later in the game. But I think at the same time, all smart quarterbacks have to know, at some point the right thing to do is get down because, you put yourself in harm's way enough, 17 regular season games, and then hopefully the tournament, if you will. It's a long season, and I don't call it pulling off the reins, reining them in. We all know the competitor Dak is, but he's also a very smart football player, and he'll make good decisions.
Stephen, I watched a lot of tape of Jake Ferguson coming out of Wisconsin, and he seemed like a really good up the field player, the reception, the solid catching the football. Did you guys envision him with the run after catch, the ability to make people miss? It seems like every time he gets a reception now, it's one or two guys he's able to kind of make miss. Is that something that he's worked on since he's been with you? Because I really didn't always see that at Wisconsin.
I think that's a fair statement, Brian. I think, it's been a pleasant surprise. I told him the other day after we won the game here against the Patriots, I said, we might have to move you to tailback.
Yeah.
And after Rico got hurt, and he said, he had a big smile and said, just give me the ball.
Yeah.
And but I agree with you. I think he's been a pleasant surprise in terms of his run after catch. He's just got a little way about him in spite of being 6'5", 250, he can make some people miss and, get the extra yards, which are critical. And, I think, hats off to him with, the way he's playing right now. He's playing at a high level. And certainly I think, Schoonmaker's going to continue to get more opportunities. So, feel really good about that group going into this game.
It's week 5. There's certainly a lot of football left, but does the importance of this game feel more than your typical regular season game?
Well, I think anytime you're pretty much a consensus, you're one of, you got two of the, top 10 teams in the league playing one another, then it's going to be a big game. And like you said, you're going to have a lot of football to play one way or the other after this game. I don't think anybody's going to be willing to anoint anybody, win, lose. The winner of the game is going to be anointed, the Super Bowl favorite. There's another team in the NFC, or other teams, if you will, between Philly, certainly Detroit's playing at a high level. A lot of football to be played.
A couple trades starting to pop off a little bit. Steve, the phone's ringing?
We feel good about where we are, but we always entertain any ways that we feel like it would be a positive for our roster. We're always, player acquisitions 365 days a year, make our football team better, and it makes sense, then we'll certainly look at it.
How much has Trey Lance helped you guys out this week?
Oh, well, you can imagine. I mean, he's been in that system with Kyle and running our scout team for us, and knowing a lot about that offense, especially being the quarterback. I think it's been helpful, but it's just great to have Trey on our team, and having a future here is certainly something we're fired up for Trey about, and did a great job this week of giving the defense a good look and helping Dan out with some insight into the way they look at their offensive philosophy and the way they like to move the ball.
We enjoyed hearing your phone ring in the middle of your interview with K&C earlier in the week. I was curious if your phone dings off in a meeting, say with Jerry and company, what's the fine system like for that?
Well, I've been able to avoid that most of the time, so I'm sure I'd get hit with one if the phones were supposed to be silent. Hopefully, I won't get fined by your group over there, but hopefully I can avoid that one.
Stephen, I remember a time when we were in Wichita Falls, and Jerry, I think Dave Campo was talking about phones ringing in a meeting, and I saw your dad rip off two $100 bills when that phone, just as Dave was talking about that, the phone ringing, your dad's phone rang, and your dad just took the call, just took the $200 and handed it to Campo, and I was like going, that's a baller right there.
There you go. Hey, everybody's subject to fines. So,
Jerry just ripped off two $100 bills and slid them over to Dave and took the call. So, but we were curious, what's the ringtone? We were trying to figure out what the ringtone was. You share that with us?
I don't even know what you would call that ringtone. It came with the phone.
Okay.
I'm not a big pick a song, pick a ringtone. I hadn't gotten into that. If I'm going to change my ringtone, I'm going to need to check on my tech-savvy kids to get me the one that they think that I would like. But I need to check that. Usually I was shocked. I'm almost always on silent, so that was surprising to hear it go off.
Well, I do know that's an iPhone ringtone. I'm glad you're not an Android guy.
Definitely an iPhone, yeah.
It's definitely an iPhone.
Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend out there. Give them hell. We'll be pulling for you.
Y'all have a great weekend as well. Always enjoy you guys.